ka Mount Olive Culinary and Hospitality Management Shillong ka khot admission haki professional courses baper ya ka jingtip ka ba khamnya lecture ka city office 100 academy ha malki
Meghalaya Pradesh Congress Committee mentagasngi kala ther ting ya ka BJP kabala Synshar la khandai Snem ha kari kaba pinrus pa tai ki he spa kadba kanyon ni ki paduk bajinjar ka Congress kala ther bat pinrem ha ki babon ki phang ba pher na do ka jingkluma umintri rangba kari u Narendra Modi ban ai khatsan lak tingka haman ki account ki baduk nangta kasngi babha ka jingtre kam ya kala air shed ka banang ki door ka jing ki nong rap bat ki wei ki mat Kanong yalam ka Congress ka Bobita Sharma ka Media Coordinator ka AICC kala ongru bawat hakapor COVID khat khandai ru ki brio ki blayap sa pho lang ngut hinre umudi shimla le banyarap yaki
in a digital format a booklet of the 9 years 9 questions. In the economic front, I would like to just mention what was the price of LPG in 2014 gas cylinder. It was 410 per cylinder. Petrol was 71 liters. Diesel was 55 liters. Mustard oil was 90 per kg. Atta was 22 per kg. Milk was 35 per liter. In 2023, what happens? 410, which was gas cylinder price, it has risen to 1100. In our state, it is almost 1200. Petrol has risen to 95 to 100 rupees. Diesel has risen to 83 to 98 rupees per litre. Mustard oil per litre has risen to 143 per litre. Atta has risen to 34.5 per kg and milk has risen to 53 per litre. So you can imagine the percentage of increase that these essential items which are in everyday use for every household is how it has affected each and every household. LPG increases 169%. Petrol has increased by 57%. Diesel has increased by 78%. Mustard oil is increased by 58%. Atta has increased by 56%. Milk has increased by 51%. These things, I appeal to the common man to see and actually see what is happening to their country under the BJP-led government. Agriculture. The attempt of the Modi government to hand over agriculture to certain selected business people has led to a mass movement of the farmers. Yet, while repealing the black farm laws, they were supposed to have some agreement with the farmers which have not yet been fulfilled. The average income of a farmer is rupees 27 per day, while GST on agriculture items has burdened our farmers and subsidies on fertilizers have also been cut. So the priority is not agriculture anymore for the Modi government. It is only fulfilling the wishes of their capitalist friends. Corruption and cronyism. You are all aware about the Modani scam, the Adani scam, whereby LIC and SBI have been involved in their financial deals of the Adani group of companies. You are all aware that every family in India has an LIC policy, has an LIC insurance policy. So why take risk by involving LIC money or SBI money in the Adani companies, in a private company, and due to which there has been loss of shares of the LIC company as well. The Adani monopoly is also contributing to higher prices in flights and electricity. So these all have a very internal connection between the common man's woes and the rise of the Adani monopoly companies. Number 4, China and national security. When China inroaded into India, a 1500 square kilometer of Indian territory, the Prime Minister was silent. The Prime Minister is always silent whenever there is something on the borders between India and China. And there is no national security strategy in the last 9 years after his government took office. This ad hocism leads to disastrous steps like unpopular Agnipat scheme, which risk weakening our armed forces by lowering training standards and also threatening the unit of cohesion. And the defense, spending on defense is also at an all-time low, which also makes a great risk of security in our borders. Number 5, social harmony. You have always seen that in the last 9 years, how hate speech has increased, hate crimes against minorities, against OBCs, against Adivasis have also increased, but no action has been taken against their own ministers who have openly spoken against them. Similarly, you have seen how for electoral gain, hate speeches have become very common among people in responsible positions, people who are holding ministerial positions. They are supposed to bring harmony, bring peace among people. Instead, we see them spreading hate through their speeches. So this affects the social harmony of the country. Have you ever seen the Prime Minister asking for peace whenever there is some unrest? Recently, there was an unrest, it's still going on in Manipur. Have you ever heard of the Prime Minister asking for peace or appealing for peace? It's the Prime Minister's job to maintain harmony and peace in the whole of India. But we have never seen him speak for peace, for harmony. There is a complete dead silence. Social justice. The rise in atrocities against Dalits since 2014 has been almost 23%. And your refusal to countenance a caste census to release the results of the 2011 social, economic and caste census shows how insecure you are about OBC empowerment. Similarly, the weakening of the Forest Rights Act shows contempt for Adivasi community. I would like to point out here for the false promises that they have been giving consistently to the people of India. We all remember how they came to power in 2014. Mr. Modi had made lofty promises, tall promises. The people of India remember those promises. Achhe din, 15 lakhs in the accounts of every Indian, 2 crore jobs every year for unemployed youths, and the list is endless. The people of India trusted him. The people of India believed in him, and he was voted to power. But what happened in these years? We have seen that the BJP government led by Mr. Narendra Modi has failed consistently in fulfilling those promises. Instead, we have a government which is replete with corruption, crony capitalism, unemployment, and skyrocketing price rise. As a woman, I know what it means to run a household now. You have seen how difficult it has been for every household to make a budget because of the skyrocketing high prices of essential commodities and everything that is there. Today, AICC is posing 9 questions of the 9 years of the BJP government. I would like to point out these 9 questions. 9 saal, 9 sawal. 9 years, 9 questions. Number 1, on the economy. Why is that inflation and unemployment are skyrocketing in India? Why have the rich become rich and the poor become poorer? Why is public property being sold to PM Modi's friends even as economic disparities are increasing? Number 2, agriculture and farmers. Why is it that agreements made with the farmers while repealing the black farm laws have not been fulfilled? Why has MSP not been legally guaranteed? Why didn't farmers' income double in these last 9 years? Corruption and cronyism. Number three, why are you putting people's hard-earned savings in LIC and SBI at risk to benefit Adani? Why are you letting thieves escape? Why are you silent on rampant corruption in BJP ruled states? Why are you letting Indians suffer? Number four, China and national security. Why is that? Even after you have given clean sheet to China in 2020, they still continue to occupy Indian territory. 18 meetings have been done with the Chinese counterpart, but why do they still continue to be aggressive on our borders? Number five, social harmony. Why are you deliberately using politics of hatred and hate speech for electoral gains? And you are fueling an atmosphere of fear in society. Number six, social justice. Why is it that your oppressive government is methodically destroying the foundations of social justice? Why are you silent on the atrocities against women, Dalits, SC/ST, OBCs and minorities? Why are you ignoring the demand for a caste census? Democracy and federalism. Why have you weakened our constitutional values and democratic institutions in the last 9 years? Why are you practicing politics of revenge against opposition parties? Why are you using blatant money power to destabilize governments elected by the people? Number eight, welfare schemes. Why is it that schemes for the welfare of the poor and needy and tribals are being weakened by cutting their budgets and making restrictive rules? Number nine, COVID-19 mismanagement. Why is that despite the tragic deaths of over 40 lakhs due to COVID-19, the Modi government has refused to compensate the families? Why did you suddenly impose a lockdown which forced lakhs of workers to return home and not provide any support? These are the main questions posed to the BJP government for their misdeeds in the last 9 years. Next, the border states of Northeast. At a time when China is threatening our borders, the Modi government has permitted tensions in the Northeast to rise. Assam-Mizoram tensions escalated on July 26, 2021 after clashes erupted between their respective governments, leaving 7 dead and 60 people injured. 6 of those killed were policemen in Assam. This happened in the 9 years of Modi government. In Manipur, over 40,000 people have been displaced and around 2,000 homes damaged. At least 75 people lost their lives and hundreds were injured and many were displaced from their homes. Multiple districts in Manipur, this terrible violence had spread in multiple districts in Manipur since May 3rd, 2023, and it is still going on. Manipur is still in unrest. But till now, the Home Minister has not visited Manipur. Neither the Prime Minister has called for peace in this sensitive state. Democracy and federalism. Number 7. We have seen how elected governments in Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Manipur were taken over by the BJP by using brute force and blatant use of money power. Moreover, investigative agencies like ED and CBI have been let loose on the opposition. 95% of those cases are against opposition leaders. The days that Parliament sits or does business has also become less. as happened in Gujarat when the Prime Minister was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. So there is no business in Parliament. Everything happens according to their might because they don't want any business to happen. They don't want any discussions to happen in Parliament. 8. Welfare schemes. Despite the critical role that MNREGA and the National Food Security played in saving nations poor during the COVID-19 pandemic, they have never truly embraced these essential UPA era schemes and even mocked MNREGA in Parliament. Is this why they have slashed MNREGA allocations and reduced the number of days? The much touted Ujjwala Yojana is a failure since every household cannot even afford a cooking gas. So what is the point of the Ujjwala scheme? If you are giving a cooking range to or a cylinder, people will have to be able to afford it, but they cannot afford it. How can a laborer afford 1200 rupees 1200 price of a cooking gas? Number 9, COVID-19 mismanagement. You must be aware that when COVID first happened, it was Rahul Gandhi who gave the first warnings in 2020, but this was ignored. And when finally the government agreed, they went on a lockdown which affected lakhs of people in our country. Many migrant workers were killed. Many businesses were lost. There was total mismanagement of the COVID-19 situation. So these are the questions we are placing before the government. Their failures we want to place before the people of India. The people of India had reposed their trust in the government, but what have they gained in return? They have not gained anything. These are only 9 questions. There are many, many more. But we have picked out the 9 relevant questions, which in the 9 years they have failed to fulfill, or they have failed in their governance of the country.